Hello and welcome back everyone. In the last episode, I got very lucky and completed the Kourend diary in record time. Now we get to move on to one of the most visually interesting areas in the game, in my opinion, the Kingdom of Kourend. I haven't spent too much time here in this area besides from Homestead and the Slayer dungeon, so with that being said, let's get going. These easy achievements really went by pretty quickly, so I wanted to talk about Kourend as a location for just a little bit. This place looks awesome. The locations are also varied in how they present themselves, from the bright shores of Piscarilius to the dark ashen rock of Arcane. You really get a sense from these areas that you're traveling to different cities with different histories and cultures, and I think that's one of the most positive things Kourend has going for it. One of the negative things that Kourend has going for it is the reputation grind. I have never enjoyed a reputation grind in any video game. I've done them in MMOs such as Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, but I was never excited to do so. The way that I view rep grinding is an arbitrary system that prevents certain content from being accessed easily. And I get the appeal from a story perspective. Your character is just a nobody to these new people, and in order to gain access to what they have to offer, you must first prove yourself trustworthy. That's fine, that makes sense. But what ends up happening with these types of grinds is that players will just find the simplest and most efficient way to gain the reputation. I would rather go on a quest that allows my character to feel like I'm being integrated into these new characters' lives in some way, rather than just being a random person who, I don't know, turned in a bunch of books or mined a bunch of sulfur to gain that reputation. I mentioned the rep grinds because you've probably guessed that I had to do a bunch of these in various forms for each of the houses, except for Homestead, which I will mention later on in the video what I did for each one. So I'm not a huge fan of rep grinding in general. I think there is a way to integrate your character into the larger story without having to deal with these mundane tasks of grinding. With all of that said, we complete the easy diaries, which luckily didn't have to get any extra rep grind done. We get the Radha's blessing as well as these other boons. Now it is time for the medium entries. Some of you may remember at the end of the last episode where I said it would probably take me longer to do the Kourend entries than the Kourend one, and oh boy was I right. This shit took me a long time to get done. And there was really only one reason for that, and that's to use the Kourend memoirs to teleport to all 5 cities in Great Kourend. Man, this took me fucking forever. And since I'd like to do these entries in order for the most part, I dove headfirst into this task. To complete this, I need to have 5 quests done, but I actually need to have 2 more quests done before I can even start those 5 quests, so it's really 7 quests. First up is X Marks the Spot. A very short and simple quest that seems like it was aimed to teach new players how to use clue scrolls. We talk to Veos, he tells us that he needs help finding some treasure. After a few short digs, we find the chest, return to him at Port Sarim. Unfortunately, we don't get to see what's inside the chest, but we get the quest done and we move on to the next one. The Client of Kourend. Once again, we talk to Veos, but this time when he's on Port Piscarilius, and he lets us know that he has some client that would like more information about the 5 houses that live on Kourend. So we simply go and talk to each and every one of them. This quest seems like its purpose was to let the player know what they can expect to receive from earning favor with each of these houses. This is a pretty good idea. You, the player, get to find out exactly what each house offers and whether or not you think it's worth grinding their reputation. But we go back and talk to everyone, get a really bad headache from fucking with this altar, and return to Veos, only it's not Veos we're talking to this time, but rather the client. I don't know who we just helped, and I'm almost certain it's not good, but that's going to be a future problem for Dool, so let's just move on. Let's start getting these 5 quests taken care of. First up is the Depths of Despair, requiring 20% Homestead favor to begin. Luckily, I have 100% favor thanks to some fertilizer. We need to speak with Lord Candor Homestead, whose son has gone missing. We talk to Chef Olivia, who in a shocking twist is Archer's, that's the son, lover. Wow, I didn't see that one coming. She tells us that Archer was looking for some book called The Accord of Twill. So I run my ass over to the library in Arceus, talk to Galana, find the book, and head to Crabclaw Caves. Try saying that 5 times fast. Making my way through the cave, we find Archer, but he won't leave and return to his father until he finds what he's been looking for. Unfortunately, he is a huge pushover and can't fight a level 36 snake. Okay, so we deal with the snake on his behalf, we recover the original copy of the Royal Accord of Twill, and return to Lord Hosidius. We receive a memoir page, and that is exactly what we are looking for the diary entry. I place it in the character's memoir and move on to the next quest. The Queen of Thieves. Once again, this quest requires 20% favor, but this time with Port Piscarilius. Each one of these quests has the same 20% requirement, so I'm going to stop saying that now. I used the favor certificate from the client of Kourend on the fish house so that we don't have to do any unnecessary grinding here. In this quest, we start by speaking to Thomas over here, who's conducting a little investigation into some new gang on the port called the Saviors of Kourend. Seems like a pretentious title, but alright, I'll bite. We need to infiltrate this gang, and in order to do that, we need to kill someone named Conrad King? Okay, sure. So I push his ass into the water and go on with my day. I then make my way into the underground and speak with Lady Shauna Piscarilius, aka the Queen of Thieves. So she was royalty, but we don't believe her. To validate her story, we break into the house of Counselor Hughes, who she claims is part of the Disciples of Yama. Alright guys, I have no idea what is going on, don't know what that means, but it's probably not good. It turns out she's telling the truth, we return to her, the counselor is then arrested, and we get another page for the book. Tale of the Righteous. To earn the Shazian favor, I fixed these wounded soldiers while watching YouTube. Now, while the quest plays in the background for a little bit, I'm going to ask you guys, what's your go-to background noise for playing RuneScape? Mine is currently Critical Role. I caught up with Campaign 3 after not watching for a while. So let me know down in the comments what you like to watch, or listen to. We go to the mountain, do some things with this dark altar. I stopped paying attention to the quests at this point. I'm just getting pretty tired. We return to Lord Shazian and we tell him that Phileas has gone missing, and we complete the quest. 3 down, 2 to go. Can you see why this diary took me so much longer than the last one? The Forsaken Tower. Dwarves. I mined a shitload of volcanic sulfur for the favor. It sucked. I did not enjoy nearly dying to this to get it done, but it is what it is. Wintertod is breaking out, and that's bad. So we help the dwarves by recovering Din's hammer. It is located in the Forsaken Tower. Hey, that's the name of the quest. And this is like a big escape room. I personally love escape rooms, and I worked at one for a few years. Having said that, you bet your ass I'm going to use Quest Helper. Some of these puzzles would have been pretty simple, but others definitely would have taken me a bit. Like the fluid puzzle, where you need to fill the furnace with exactly 4 gallons of water, and the ring puzzle at the very end. I think both of these puzzles are cool in their design, and I probably could have solved them, but like I said before, I was getting real tired at this point. And I think there's definitely a difference from doing a puzzle in an escape room where you have other people to bounce ideas off of, and you can be there physically, versus a video game where it's just you and what you can see and interact with on the screen. Regardless, a cool quest all in all, and we get the Hammer of Din and our second to last page. The Ascent of Arceus. I turned books in all the way to 100%. Also, small side note, did this area fuck with anyone else's computer? While I was here, my PC was chugging. It was rough to get through. And it's not like I have a slow PC either. I'm just genuinely curious if I was alone here. Alright, back to the quest. There has been a death in Arceus, which is a big deal because apparently the people here don't die. We kill some spirits in this building, talk to the son of this dude who's really fucking feeling this magic. Look at him. This is apparently because the Dark Altar is acting up, I think. I'm sure that has nothing to do with me, right? We head over to Mount Kurlum, talk to the entities, the Tasakal, God, these names are brutal, who really gave the secret to immortality to the people of Arceus. But this was apparently not part of the original deal, because Trobin, the guy who's doing the magic boogie over there, pleaded with these beings to give his wife immortality. He then shared that secret with everyone in Arceus, upsetting the natural balance. Kind of a dick move. We help these beings by freeing a trapped soul over here by the farming guild. We kill them, return to the Tasakal, and finally to the Dark Altar, where we find a strange device that has been placed and fucking with the magic here. We finally get the last page and can now teleport to each of the 5 cities and complete the first of the medium diary entries. Damn, that took a while. Okay, so I lied. Some of these entries were completed along the way, things like mining volcanic sulfur and switching the Arceus spellbook. But now we can get on to the more simple tasks that were a bit more out of the way. I need to repair a crane on Port Biscarilius, got my hammer, some planks, and some nails. Done. Simple enough. Deliver some intelligence to Captain Guinea. I grinded more favor by healing soldiers, and I received my mission. I waited patiently, and then I murdered every single one of these gangsters. Damn, that's not bad money. That's good. I return the intelligence and I get the diary completed. I need to use this bird to catch a bluegill on Lake Mulch. This is kind of cool. I have no idea if this is useful at all, but this really gives a whole nother meaning to fly fishing. No one laughed? Okay. I have to use this boulder shortcut over here. Subdue the Winter Todd. There's always going to be a minigame, huh? You just always sneak your way in here, don't you? Well, I get on some warm clothing, read a bit of what I'm supposed to be doing, and make my way into Winter Todd. I still had really no idea how to subdue this thing, so I just kind of went in there, cut some logs, lit some braziers, and I failed my first attempt. Well, I didn't fail, we subdued it, but I didn't earn enough points, it seems. So this second try, I made potions, did the same thing, and I still failed. But then I decided to use the knife on these logs, turn them into kindling, and light the braziers and repair them when they break. And apparently, in order to subdue the beast, I need to get at least 500 points. That's what the wiki ended up telling me. So whittling these logs and burning them gives way more points than simply chopping and burning. So after 3 attempts and a few near deaths, I am able to complete that entry. And last but certainly not least, I need to catch a Chinchompa in the Kourend woodland. Done. With this furry creature in hand, I run over to Elise and claim my rewards and finish the Kourend medium diary. Woo! That one took way longer than I expected, but we have it completed and that's all that matters. And we're getting close to having a full set of gear from the diary entries. That's pretty cool. We're going to end the episode here. In the next one, we head back into the swamp and take on the Mauritania diary. I'm hoping that one goes by a little bit faster than Kourend. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you all later. Goodbye.